Recording in progress.
Good evening, everyone. It is now 6 o'clock p.m. I'd like to welcome you all to Richland County Administration and Finance Committee meeting on April 23rd, 2024. This meeting would now come to order. Madam Clerk, take the roll, please.
Pugh,
Here.
Livingston, here. Weaver,
Here.
Walker.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Next item on the agenda is item 2, approval of the minutes from the March 26, 2024 meeting. Any changes, additions, or deletions? There being none, Madam Clerk, entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
Moved to properly second. Any discussion? There being none, Madam Clerk.
Pugh,
Yes.
Livingston,
Yes.
Weaver,
Yes.
Walker.
Yes.
Motion approved.
All right, next item on the agenda is item 3, approval of the agenda. Any changes, additions, or deletions? You recognize Mr. Wright.
Yes, I do have one addition for executive session. I would like to add Department of Justice investigation update.
I'll add that as item 6A. I'm sorry, no, that'll be item 5A, rather. And adjournment will go to 6. Additional additions or changes to the agenda. Entertain a motion to adopt the agenda as amended.
Second.
Moved to properly second. Any discussion? There being none. Madam Clerk?
Pugh,
Yes.
Livingston, Weaver,
Yes.
Walker.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Next item on the agenda is item 4. These are items for action. Item 4A, Department of Public Works, Engineering Division, Summit Parkway / Summit Ridge budget increase. Mr. Brown?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chair. If you would recognize County Engineer Fuller, we'll have her brief the committee on this item.
Okay, come on down, Ms. Fuller, and you're recognized, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Members of council, what you have before you right now is basically an accounting of the Summit Ridge Summit Parkway Rehabilitation Project. But what I'd like to do is give you some information that's transpired in the last 3 weeks that you will not find in your packet in front of you. So I'm going to give you some dates. The contract completion date for this project was January 6th of this year. The project itself was substantially complete on March 4th. Substantially complete, we use the definition that DOT defines in their spec book, so it means that the majority of the items that were contained in the scope of the project have been completed. On a project like this, that would typically be pavement markings would be the last thing you would see go down. So that happened on March 4th. A final inspection happened on March 5th. Final inspections are when members of county staff and also members from the contractor get together on site, walk the project, and then a punch list is created. The punch list was provided to the contractor by email on March 12th. So just to clarify, a punch list can contain a number of things, but again, the majority of the contract is complete. A punch list might contain items that are found to be in need of repair, things that may not meet standard. It could include general cleanup of the site. And in this case, it also included damage that occurred during the project to county infrastructure that was not part of the project. So sidewalk was damaged during the project. So that became part of their punch list. At this point, the contractor had the punch list for 2 weeks. So the very first week of March, they were on site. April. So from April 1st to April 5th, the contractor was on site working on the punch list. The contractor left the site and did not return for 2 weeks. They came back to the site on April 19th, which was last Friday. They worked for approximately 2 hours, and there was a rain event. They left the site. So right now, the punch list is approximately 50% complete. So the contractor is now in default of the contract itself. There are 2 items that are in default by contract. The first is that within 30 days of substantial completion, you must achieve final completion, which means the project is complete, the punch list is complete, the county has approved and accepted the entire project. So that 30 days has passed. Additionally, there is another article in the contract that requires if there are overages or if there is any observed changes to the contract by the contractor, that within 10 days they must give written notice to the county. So what that means is that as the contractor, you are not running the contract and you do not have the right to just make decisions outside or above the scope of the contract. You need to notify the county, and then you need to receive written permission back from us to make those changes. That did not happen. What you have in front of you is the change order that was requested by the contractor. It does include all of their overages. At this point, based on the information that I've given you, we are requesting a slightly different language in our recommendation. So now staff recommends the approval of the change order, but it's contingent on the punch list being completed. The funds for the change order would not be released until after the final completion of the project is achieved.
Mr. Wright.
Yes, sir.
I want to make sure that we don't get ourselves in trouble as a body before we just start asking questions. So, do you care to say what we can or cannot ask or say, or do we need to go into executive session?
If you have any legal questions or anything that may have legal implications, we can go into executive session.
I know I do. But in a motion from
So moved, Mr. Chair.
second,
Second it.
properly second. Any discussion? Mr. Livingston, you recognize? I'm not a
Right.
substitute motion.
That's a part of your motion to include this item as well as item
Item 5A.
5A, yeah.
I accept the friendly amendment to the motion.
Discussion to be in. Clerk?
Pugh,
Yes.
Livingston, Weaver,
Yes.
Walker.
Yes.
Motion approved.
All right. Let's see. entertain a motion to come out of executive session.
So move, Mr. Chair.
Second.
Moved to properly second. Any discussion? There being none, Madam Clerk, take the vote.
Pugh,
Yes.
Livingston. Weaver,
Yes.
Walker.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Let the record reflect that we went into executive session for items 4A and for item 5A. We received legal advice and no action was taken. All right, back to item 4A on the agenda. Entertain a motion.
So move, Mr. Chair.
Second.
Properly second. Any discussion? There being none, Madam Clerk?
Yeah, we,
I'm sorry.
4A?
That's correct. Item 4A.
It's not 5A?
No, it's 4A. That's Department of Public Works, Engineering Division, Summit Parkway, Summit Ridge, budget increase. That's where we are. So, all right, any additional discussion? There being none, Madam Clerk, take the vote.
Yes.
Livingston,
Yes.
Weaver,
Yes.
Walker.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Next item on the agenda is item 4B, Department of Public Works, Jim Hamilton, L.B. Owens Airport, award of a fixed base operator contract. Mr. Brown?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chair. If you would recognize Mr. Peter Savalas, who's our general manager of the airport, he will carry this item for the committee on this evening.
Hollis, you recognize, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good evening,
Good evening
ladies
to
and
you.
gentlemen. Peter Savalas, Airport General Manager, LB Owens Airport. We have before you the contract for the new proposed FBO, fixed base operator at the airport. The current contract ends June 30th. This contract will replace that operator. The contract was, the solicitations for the new operator was done through the bonfire system, and it was concluded this past month. And we have an award. We have an agreement in theory, and we were conditionally requesting approval of this contract.
Hollis, any questions from the body?
See, I didn't have that information for some reason.
That's me.
Guess I got a new agenda.
Packet. Do you recognize Mr. Livingston?
As far as the hangars as relates to the airport,
Yes, sir.
in this particular agreement, who will be responsible for the leasing of the hangars? The fixed base operator or the county staff?
County staff, sir.
Is that consistent with our ordinance regarding the hangar release and so forth? Attorney?
Ordinance regarding,
Related to the issue before us, as it relates to hangars at the airport, is there any language anywhere that says who is responsible for the sale of the hangars, whether it's the county staff or whether it's a fixed base operator? Is that not written anywhere?
I think regarding lease is a little different than the,
I'm talking about the leasing of them, yeah. Who leases the hangars? That's what I'm saying, yes.
right, I mean, I'm not sure that's in the actual ordinance, but I think it's a little different than, for the lease of it, than it would be the sale of property. Otherwise,
If we approve what we're approving now, the county would be responsible for the leasing of the hangars.
yes.
Okay. But currently, who is responsible for the leasing of the hangars?
The FBO is.
So that's my point I'm getting at. So there's a change in the leasing of the hangars.
That would be a change, yes.
Okay. Can someone explain why, what's the advantage to the county for that change?
There would be an increase in revenue, sir, by 25%.
That revenue was going to the fixed base operator?
Per the current agreement, yes, sir. Right now, 25% of our lease stream, revenue stream that we obtain from our county facilities goes to the FBO. Going forward with the new contract, 100% of the revenue stream from the leases that we have on our county facilities will be coming to the county. Yes, sir.
I just knew there was a change, and I wanted to make sure that's clear.
Yes, sir.
Mackey?
Can you state how long this contract will be for?
It will be for a total of 10 years, ma'am.
Thank you.
Questions, comments? All right. Motion,
So move, Mr. Chair. Second.
properly second. None? Clerk?
Pugh,
Yes.
Livingston,
No.
Weaver,
Yes.
Walker.
Yes.
Motion approved.
All right, next item on the agenda is item 6, adjournment. Entertain a motion.
So move, Mr. Chair.
Sorry. Oh,
We do 5. Because I had two.
All right. Madam Clerk, take the vote again.
Pugh,
Yes.
Livingston,
Yes.
Weaver,
Yes.
Walker.
Yes.
Motion approved.
We